think that looks like a pretty decent shot. Okay, we're recording. That's just beautiful. Got some dramatic clouds up in the San Juan Mountains. Turns out that's where we're headed. Straight into that paradise over there. What's up, homies? What's up, little homies? Oh, easy there, fella. Easy there. As crazy as it sounds, I'm actually very stoked on this impending thunderstorm over here. I just love the dramatic skies and how cool it looks. Especially up here. Look at that. Wow. Some amazing mountains for sure. Pretty spectacular out here. Pretty rad to be out here on a motorcycle, checking it out on two wheels. But I wanted to just stop, grab a snack, fill up on some calories, enjoy the scenery for a little bit. The bags seem to be holding on quite well. It's heavy, it adds a lot of weight to the bike, the way that I've got them packed. But to be honest with you, it just takes a little bit of adjustment on your riding style, and it's pretty phenomenal actually how well it does handle with all of that weight on there. I've just learned that instead of riding it like a dirt bike like I have been the last month or so, that now I just ride it more like an adventure bike and just cruise along and enjoy the scenery. And that's what we're up here to do. I'll tell you what, I've been dreaming about this for a very long time. I've been doing stuff like this in the van for quite some time. But truth be told, I was raised on a motorcycle from before I can remember, really. My dad put me on the seat in front of him. Down the road we went. Way back in the 80s. Eventually my mom got her motorcycle license and a motorcycle, and we would go out on family vacations, basically overlanding on motorcycles way back in the day, before overlanding was overlanding. Back then we just packed up the street bikes with pillows and ice coolers and everything else that we could think of, and we hit the road for weeks at a time, and that was our family vacation. That's how I grew up. I started living in a van so that I could chase my dreams and become a professional photographer, because I had a passion for motorcycles and filming motorcycles, shooting motorcycle photography. As soon as I started chasing those dreams of becoming a professional photographer, I spent more time behind the camera filming and photographing motorcycles and less time riding motorcycles. And I'd say there's definitely been a huge void in the last 10 years not being on motorcycles as much. And I finally decided it was time to pull the trigger, get myself a motorcycle, pack it up with the least amount of stuff that I could figure out how to go survive on, and then head up into the hills. And it kind of reminds me of those trips that I used to take with my mom, my dad, my brother Chris, where we would just go. And all we had was what was on the bikes. And that's what I'm doing right now, figuring that out. I've been living very minimally for the last 14 years out of a van, but I tell you what, when you shift from living in a van to living on a motorcycle, even if it's short term, you learn a whole lot more about what minimal actually means. Nonetheless, here we are, out here in the backcountry of Colorado. Thunderstorms all around, big magnificent mountains, cool stream right here, camp set up right there. Life is good. A lot of you guys have been wondering where I've been for the last several months. Kind of hit a wall with the Living the Van Life YouTube channel, and just got tired of making the same videos over and over again and just going out and living in a van. I needed a new challenge. That's what we got here. Let's figure out how to come out here and live off a motorcycle for a few days at a time, and also figure out how to film it. Couple items that I did bring on the bike. This is my Essie knife. You guys have seen me use this in a lot of the van videos. This is what I do a lot of my splitting and processing of firewood with, so I brought this. Another thing that I brought was a Silky Gomboy saw. This is a very nice, compact, foldable saw. You can see how thin it is, packs great into the bike. I've used these before in van life, and they're super handy, so I brought one of those to help process firewood as well. Nice firewood right there. In my kit here, I've carried my fire starters that I like to use here. These fit nicely in the little Altoid style tin. These are cotton balls, just your standard regular issue cotton balls. I just lathered them up with Vaseline and they actually make really good fire starters. They're lightweight, compact. They tuck right into my little kit here. I usually use about 2 cotton balls, and then I like to kind of tear them up a little bit, open them up about like so, and stick them down in the bottom of my fire here. Now with my second one, I like to just stick it on the end of a piece of small kindling. The problem is with the Vaseline is it sticks to your hands, and when you light this thing on fire you don't want it sticking to your fingers. And see how easy that lights. Stick it down next to the other one.
walking out one evening late. The moon was rising high, headed for the riverside. Around us fuss and fight. Patrolman, he walked by, asked me where I'm going. Said if the sun set on me there, I'd never make it home. He said, don't go downtown tonight, there's trouble on the rise. The bad men in the shadows, and they're bound to take your life. If you mind to ramble, I'll tell you how I do. Keep your money in your pocket, then the razor in your shoe.
All right, well, I think we finally have this shit show ready to get back on the road. I definitely need to improve my packing backup program. This takes too long to pack everything back up, but nonetheless, we are ready to go here this morning. Hopefully we're gonna get into some passes and some epic alpine scenery. Let's do this. Shot right there. Alright, rolling into the little community of Ridgway, Colorado. This is going to be a fuel stop, which is good. We're probably needing it about 105 miles into this trip. $2 gallons. Damn, dude. That's insane. Alright. Hung out here at the gas station for a few minutes. Had a little bit of a snack. Now about to load up and hit the road again because we got some cool stuff yet to see in the day. And daylight is burning quickly. Who knows where we'll end up, but we're going to go find out. That's the fun thing about being on a dirt bike. With everything you need in the backcountry and no agenda. Bam. Right now we have done 106 miles. I'm gonna go ahead and say about 6 miles of that has been on pavement. So 100 miles of dirt so far is pretty awesome. And we're headed out into that country, up into those big giant mountains. Starting to enter the area of Uray. They call it the Swiss Alps of America. I'm gonna stop here in town in the grocery store, grab some snacks and some food, because we're gonna have quite a stint up through the passes from Uray before we get to a little town called Lake City. So I want to be prepared with just a few things. Town has a ton of mining history. From here, as US Route 550 heads south out of here, it goes up over what's called the $1 Million Highway and Red Mountain Pass. An absolutely brilliant scenic highway. Tons of old mines, lots of old trails. That's basically where we're headed to go do these passes. Look at that. Look at that backdrop. See if I can get away with it for a brief moment. Technically parked in a yellow. Okay, so I got some goods in here. I got some cheese, got some salami, a couple things of top ramen, a couple bananas, some crackers. So I'm buying all this for later, and this is where this net, this little cargo net that I have picked up, comes in quite handy. Get that squeezed up underneath there. This rain is coming pretty quick. I'm hoping I can get out ahead of it. This morning there wasn't a cloud in the sky, so I packed my rain gear down at the bottom. Hopefully we don't need it. Okay, let's rock and roll. The hard part about the weather around here is you can't let a few raindrops dictate what you're going to do, because it changes so quickly. But look at that up ahead. That's where we're going, and it's coming. Look like it might be just a small squall. Let's see what happens. Is the $1 Million Highway. All right, this right here is the start of Engineer Pass. We got some rain squalls coming. Whew, wish me luck. Just had a lightning strike and some thunder rolling up above. Definitely getting ourselves into the thick of it right now. Always blows my mind how they decide to make these roads up here on these passes. Thanks, guys. That this rain's going to be avoidable. I might take the opportunity in these trees to get into my pack. It's 2 o'clock. I just don't feel good about getting up into these passes right now. It's pretty freaking rugged. It's getting late in the day. Thing is, the higher I get up, I get out of the tree line, and then I'm super exposed to all of this. My gut's telling me to go back and let this pass and maybe hit it tomorrow. Might not be a bad idea. Do it now before this rain starts coming down. Yeah, it's really starting to come down now. See if I can't get down this obstacle before it starts raining too hard. It's not that bad coming down. Oh, fucking so hard with so much gear on board, man. Totally changes the game. I think we're probably making the right decision. I feel much better about it, getting a start early in the morning on this stuff. Thank you. I'm all about an adventure and some thunderstorms, but trying to tackle a big, huge pass in the middle of it. I mean, hell, the crazy part is it could actually snow up there at 13,000 feet in the middle of a storm like that. Now that rain's starting to come down. I'll put my rain gear on here. Unfortunately, I thought I was being smart today and packed my rain gear all the way down at the bottom of this bag. And of course, that's when I'm gonna need it, right? I got some shelter under these trees. Any little bit helps as I gotta unload all this. Chances are, as soon as I get in the rain gear, it'll stop raining. Okay, there we are. I've been putting everything in these compression bags. It really helps compress everything down into a compact size for fitting into these bags. Ta-da! Ta-da! Okay, get this stuff back in. Okay. Whew, here it comes now. Okay, rain gear installed. Let's get this show back on the road. All good, thanks. Nah, just putting rain gear on. Thanks, appreciate it. Cheers. Oh man, look at it out here. Whew. Windy, exposed on this cliffside, lightning and thunder. I'm on 2 wheels. How do you spell adventure? Well, I managed to make it down off of Engineer Pass and back to Uray unscathed. I think it was the right decision to go ahead and cut it loose. I was getting a late start in the day. I still had about 45 miles worth of trek to make it up across some of these extreme passes that they have here in Colorado. And to be doing that in the middle of a thunderstorm on 2 wheels with nothing but what I have on my back, good call to go ahead and pull it back and just wait this one out. So I'm here in Uray. Actually got myself a cabin, and I've actually been sitting here on the front porch while some of my gear dries out, charging up some batteries and enjoying some thunderstorms that are rolling through the valley. a little bit of a recharge day, and we'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Well, I definitely bombarded the cabin here, taking the opportunity to get things charged up. That's part of the difficulty that I'm finding in traveling on a motorcycle and filming, is keeping everything charged, bringing the right batteries, but not bringing too much. So I've kind of got things spread out here, doing a little bit of a reset on things and getting ready for tomorrow. Well, it is definitely a beautiful morning here in Uray. I feel much better about starting this trek in these kind of conditions rather than what we did late in the day yesterday. I think our odds of having a good experience are much better this morning. Let's try this again. Look at this big old thing. At one point, this was a big deal. Take a bit of a break here while we walk around and explore. Boy, am I glad that we waited on that weather that we were having yesterday and came up here in much better light. Pretty spectacular to be up here. The wildflowers are quite extensive right now this time of year. When I come into places like this, I like to imagine what it must have been like back in the late 1800s, probably when this was all really brand new. And you're up here working your rear off, mining out of the earth, way up here in these extreme conditions. Who knows the stories that went down here. several more rooms up here. I can't imagine what this place would have been like when it was brand new, freshly built. The timber smelled of fresh cut wood. Fire burning in the fireplace. I bet it was nice and cozy up here come fall time. I'd be curious if they were actually up here during winter time, because there'd be a massive amount of snow falling up here. Who knows? Be interesting to know. Oh man. Where in the world are we right now? And this is why you wait until there's no thunderstorms and you come out here in this beautiful light. This is incredible. Well, that's enough to take your breath away right there. Holy cows. 12,955 feet elevation. We're at the top of Oak Point with a spectacular 360-degree view of everything. We're on top of the world right now. This is pretty amazing. This here is Engineer Pass, and we're headed out over that direction, probably another 30 miles or so, and we'll get to a little town called Lake City. And that storm looks like she's coming around. The good news is I actually packed my rain gear up on the top of my gear today, so Alpine tundra back down into the bottom of the valley, headed towards Lake City, dodging a few raindrops here and there. Maybe got 15 miles of this to get back to Lake City, so we just cruising. Man, look at this river right here, fishing galore. What a cool canyon. Woo. Oh yeah, here it comes. Pitter patter, let's get back at her. Let's do this. Oh man, it's gonna be an all-out downpour now. Shit, look at this. Coming down the frickin' mountain. Yeah, I should probably get through this shit. About the time I rolled down here to the little town of Lake City, Colorado, this storm had turned into a good old-fashioned downpour. It was raining cats and dogs. Before I knew it, the rain had completely soaked my camera, disabling the audio. My microphone was dead in the water. I needed some shelter ASAP. Luckily, I cruised the streets here and I found this little Mexican restaurant with a nice big covered area outside. It was a perfect opportunity to be able to escape this weather for just a moment. The rain gear did a good job of keeping me nice and dry, but of course I had cold, wet gloves, the rain was starting to get in my helmet. It was time for a little bit of a break. The storms here in Colorado, they just come out of nowhere. It can be sunny, it can be nice and warm, and before you know it, the sky will open up and just start dumping rain out of nowhere. Look at the amount of water coming down the sides of the streets just in a matter of moments. This is a real gully washer here. It was about lunchtime, so it was good timing just to jump inside and grab myself a nice warm plate of Mexican food. Well, this is very, very welcome. Nice and warm, some chips and salsa, and a warm plate of Mexican food. That's about I'll do for right now. I don't really know why this wouldn't work for a camp spot. Map says it's BLM and public land. Tucked right off the edge of the road here. Great spot to get some sleep in before heading up Cinnamon Pass in the morning. I gotta say, life on a motorcycle is pretty epic. It's non-stop adventure. We've done 200 miles. The things that I've seen, the places that I've been, just in the last couple days is pretty fantastic. And I'm looking forward to more. Well, it's about 20 to 9. The moon's coming out over the top of the mountain. The sun is long gone. And I think it's about time to call it a day. It's been one hell of an epic day making it up over Engineer Pass. Crazy rainstorm. And now this valley that leads up to Cinnamon Pass has been super fantastic. I'm looking forward to crawling in bed and getting a good night's sleep. We'll catch you guys in the morning. I said this is pert near perfect. Getting to fall asleep to this babbling creek just outside my tent down below. I've got a good view of the moon right here too. Should make for a good cozy night. I'll see you guys in the morning. What a perfect way to wake up. Let the sun creeping through the tent just gently rocks you awake. It's been an amazing journey so far. And with every mile that ticks by and every morning I wake up, I realize that it gets easier and easier. And you start realizing that you can do with even less in your life. And that was one big life lesson that van life taught me, was how much you can live without and probably be the happiest you've ever been. And doing this stuff out here on a motorcycle, that's a whole nother level of living minimally. And the fact that you can wake up and be happy just like right now. And the fact that you got more adventure ahead as we climb up over these passes. It's pretty cool. I got everything packed up on the bike. It's ready to go. Starting to get the process down a little bit. But I tell you what, it was a fantastic night's sleep out here on the side of this creek. Tucked away in a little piece of public land. It was close to the road, but nonetheless it served the purpose for a camp spot late last night. Cinnamon Pass, 12,640 feet on top of the world out here in Colorado once again. The places that motorcycles can get you. Once again, another pass. This time it's California Pass at 12,960 feet. Knocking them dead today. Alright, California Pass completed. Got a short distance downhill, another short climb over to Hurricane Pass. Dang. I think we should just take a moment right here. Look at that lake. The color is incredible. Okay, moving on. Well, so far we're 223 miles into this journey. We've ascended over 26,000 feet, and here we find ourselves at Hurricane Pass, 12,730 feet elevation, making progress. All right, let's go check out Corkscrew Pass. Just a couple of hills over. Rocky Mountain High right there, baby. Look at that. How do you beat this experience? Coming up here on a motorcycle with everything that you need to survive on your back. The diversity in an adventure like this is just incredible. To me, that's what makes these things so special, is the fact of all the different things that you can experience in a small matter of time. I just can't get over how cool it is to be doing this on a motorcycle. It takes me all the way back to my roots of being a kid and thanking my dad for introducing motorcycles into our lives as a family from a very young age. One of my favorite views here on Corkscrew. Look at that red mountain over there. Freaking cool. These switchbacks are tight. So much history up here in these hills. Back in the day when humans came out here and discovered that there was rare minerals hiding in these mountains. They came up here and figured out ways to extract it, process it, capitalize from it. Some rugged freaking territory. It's hard to imagine coming up here back in the day, discovering it, much less building all of the facilities to be able to process this. That's just a cool, iconic piece of mining operation right there. Okay, we are making our way up Black Bear Pass. Yet again, another beautiful scenic drive up the side of these mountains. Dropping down the backside of Black Bear Pass. This takes us down into Telluride. Freaking amazing out there. So freaking pumped. Feel so connected to being out here on the trail with the bike. So connected to the outdoors. So connected to this terrain. Oh my God, look at it out there. Can't take my eyes off the road long enough to look though. Okay, here we go down the infamous steps of Black Bear Pass. I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot going on. Flying a drone, recording with a GoPro, and navigating Black Bear Pass, the steps. A little bit sketch. That's alright though, we made it. After you make it down around the steps, you're exposed to this amazingly cool waterfall as it spills over the edge of the cliff. This ends up being one of the wildest and craziest rides that you can take up here in the San Juan Mountains of southern Colorado. From there, you got some extremely tight switchbacks that make your way down into the bottom of the valley. From there, you make your way into Telluride, Colorado, where I enjoyed an afternoon of pizza and kicking around town to explore. I headed back up into the mountains where I set up camp and enjoyed a campfire underneath a full moon. But unfortunately, this is where this adventure stops, simply because I ran out of camera battery and I just don't have a way of recharging while I'm out on the bike. One of the challenges of doing all this out here on two wheels. Overall, on this trek, on my own version of the extended Alpine loop, I ended up doing over 400 miles of dirt. It was a spectacular experience and a great way to switch things up from van life. But don't worry, there is always more adventures coming from the van. With that being said, I'm going to hit the road in search of the next living the van life adventure. Peace out. Keep on trucking.